Hi, this lesson is about word problems. So here's the start of a word problem. So what we've got is, imagine you go to a shop and you want to buy some pens like this, like these in fact. So you're going to buy some pens and you get a choice. You can either buy pens which are 43p each. Okay, so each pen is 43. So if you buy one pen, it's 43p. If you want two pens, it's 2 times 43, and so on. Or they come in a packet of 4, so they're in a kind of wrapped up packet, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 pens together in a packet, and the packet of 4 costs £1. And you're probably thinking, well, that's not 4 times 43p. But usually when you go to the shop, if you buy more, the more you buy, the cheaper they are. So therefore that kind of explains that. So these questions are usually in about 3 different parts, and they get harder as we go along. So the first part could simply be how much do 3 pens cost? Okay, so 3 pens, if we want 3 pens, how much does that cost? And this is kind of at a year 3 kind of level. So therefore what you do is you would write 43, and we are multiplying by 3 because there are 3 of them. Okay, so remember year 3 this should be. So 3 times 3 is 9, and 3 times 4 is 12. So therefore that's 129 pence. If it says put the answer in a box, and the answer box has already got a pound sign, then you can't put 129p because they've already got the pound sign. So therefore you've got to decide, right, okay, that's going to be £1.29. Okay, so 3 pens cost £1.29. That's fine. The next part of the question, part B, it might say how much does 5 pens cost? Now, if you're not thinking, what you might do is you might say, well, 43 multiplied by 5, okay, 5 3s are 15, carry 1, 4 times 5 is 20, don't forget the carrying digit is 21, so therefore 215p, or £2.15. If you were not thinking, that's what you would say. However, that wouldn't really be acceptable, because if you want 5 pens, you could buy a packet of 4 pens and then 1 pen here. Okay, so therefore 5 pens is £1 for a packet of 4, and then 43, and look very carefully, boys and girls, where I'm putting the digits, place value, 43p for the individual pen. Remember, that is 4 pens. Let's write that down. That's 4 pens, and that is 1 pen, and 4 add 1 is 5, which is how many they want. Right, let's add this. In fact, we don't need to do this, do we? £1 plus 43p is £1.43. Okay, so really it's not the addition that they're looking for here. What they're looking for is, do you realise that 5 pens you'd buy a packet of 4 and then for a single pen? Oops. And then next, a third sort of stage, and by now they're talking about children who should be getting secure, possibly even mastery at year 4. Okay, so this is a bit more tricky, and they might say we want you to work out the cost of 7 pens, but just before you start, but they might say compare the 2 different ways you could buy these 7 pens. So what you have to do, which is what I'll show you in a moment, what you've got to do is look at the 2 different ways you could buy 7 pens and then see how much the difference is. So let's call the 2 different ways, let's call them way A, let's call it method A and method B, and we'll draw a line between the 2 so that we don't get confused. So method A would be if you bought 7 individual pens at 43 pence each. 43 times 7. Now I know that this is not going to be the cheapest, but that's the whole point. They want you to compare. 7 3s are 21, carry 2. 7 4s are, come on, 7 4s. 7 times 4 is 28, plus 2 is 30. So 3 0 1. And what I'll do is I'll keep it in pence, because that's the way I like to do it. So process A, if you buy 7 individual pens, it will cost you 301 pence. Now process B, if you buy a packet of 4, that will cost you 100 pence. And then you need, well, we need 7 pens altogether. You've got 4 there, so 7 minus 4 is 3. So we need 3 pens, 3 individual pens. So we need to do 3 times 43. Okay, so if I put 4 pens here, I'll put a circle around it for that amount, and this amount is for 3 pens, put a circle around that and an arrow, so that amount plus that amount will be 4 pens plus 3 pens, which is 7 pens. Okay, right, hope you're clear on that. Sorry, that wasn't very clear. Right, 3 times 43, well, 3 3s are 9, 3 4s are 12, so that's 129p. So we've got 100p for the 4 pens plus 129, which equals 229 pence. Okay, so that's the answer to buying 7 pens using this method. But when it says compare, what it means is you can't just say this is more expensive. You've got to say how much more expensive. So what we'll do is we will do a subtraction with decomposition, and we'll do 300. Remember, this is for secure and mastery. So if you're hoping to get secure or mastery by the end of this year, you should be able to be following this fairly well. So 301 for this method, 229 for this method over here. 1 take away 9 we cannot do, so therefore we go to the next column to borrow, to take 1 away, to decompose. Now that's a 0, so we can't decompose a 0 because nothing's happening. So we go to the next column, so we go to the hundreds. So 3 decomposes to a 2, and then remember, one of these is worth 10 of those, so now we've got 10. So now we can borrow from the 10, so the 10 now becomes 9, and we have a 1 there. Remember, one of those is worth 10 of those. So now we've got 11 take away 9 is 2. 9 take away 2 is 7. Yeah, that's all going well so far. And then 2 take away 2 is, well, 0. Okay, so therefore 72 pence. So if you bought 7 individual pens, it would cost you 72p more than if you bought a packet of 4 pens and then 3 individual pens.